What's transpired over the last 2 weeks has been nothing short of revelatory and amazing. We have watched the extremists in the Democrat Party, without the protection of their fake GOP friends, being exposed as the untrustworthy charlatans that this program has been proving them to be for years. Americans, perhaps for the first time, have been shown the corruption, waste, and anti-American ideology that now controls the Democrat Party and that has served to make government the enemy of we the people. Desperate leftists resort to thuggery and violence. A warning to my fellow countrymen in today's preamble. Even the biased shills in the fake news press, who have been slavish conspirators alongside the America Last coalition, they can't help but laugh at Democrats as they scream, shout, and throw a temper tantrum as their corrupt government schemes are exposed for all to see.
Democrats agree that Musk is a problem, but listen to them today, and they have a piñata in search of a stick.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist!
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses.
We have days to stop the destruction of our democracy. We have work to do. Tell Elon Musk to take his hands off your money. We don't pledge allegiance to the creepy 22-year-olds working for Elon Musk. We pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
And goddamn it, shut down the city! We are at war!
We will win! We will win! We will win! We won't rest! We won't rest!
Gretchen.
Yes,
So,
they need, the Democrats need a real leader, okay? They need a real leader, which currently does not exist.
As the Democrat Party is relegated to a regional party and revealed to be a laughingstock of free people everywhere, they have resorted to thuggery. Here is Mad Maxine Waters outside the soon-to-be-shuttered Department of Education pushing around a security guard.
And this is going to go out in history. The man who blocked the doors of the Department of... Hold your face up so they can see you. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again?
No.
Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID?
What you just saw was thuggish tactics designed to subvert the Constitution and the separation of powers. Having been in Congress since the time dinosaurs roamed the earth, Maxine Waters knows very well that her only role over the executive branch offices is oversight. My suggestion to Maxine is that she should familiarize herself with the founding document. And some good news for this left-wing member of Congress. She'll have much less to oversee after President Trump and Elon Musk are through trimming government back to fit into its constitutional box. While we're talking about the America Last coalition, you may be noticing how Democrats are really running away from the cameras to answer for their abuses of the American taxpayers. And you might have also noticed how certain so-called Republicans are running toward the cameras to condemn the myriad abuses of the U.S. taxpayers and our families. This insult to the intelligence of Americans has caught the attention of John Harold, owner and founder of Badlands Media, who observed, quote, "The dumbest aspect of this USAID scandal is the fact that none of this came out before now. All you politicians talking about the ridiculous spending in your floor speeches, where the F have you been?" End quote. You know, it's true, folks. All 535 members of Congress have either through stupidity, laziness, or lack of manpower in their offices have failed to provide protection for the U.S. taxpayers by neglecting their oversight role and in so doing allowing billions of our dollars to be wasted on left-wing idiocy and anti-Americanism. In short, you have been screwed over for decades. Now, if that bothers you, perhaps you should abandon this trust me government mindset that has been shoved down our throats from media, GovEd, and disreputable politicians and start standing up for your own bottom line. But as Elon Musk and Doge, the only government agency set up to bring accountability to government, unveils more and more corruption, the angrier the American people are getting. Reports indicate the Secretary of State Marco Rubio, after disclosing that USAID had gone rogue, acting independently and many times in opposition to the Secretary of State's office, has pulled USAID under the State Department's umbrella. But after reviewing the mission of USAID, Rubio has determined that the agency only needs 296 people to fulfill that mission, not the 14,000 people that American taxpayers are forced to subsidize. Did you get that? 14,000 people soaking the taxpayers, but only 300 are needed. Rubio will be firing the deadweight, and now Congress has introduced legislation to kill USAID altogether, a deep state slush fund at the end of the day. The Daily Caller reported that $1.3 billion of your taxpayer dollars has been used to pad the pockets of another Democrat ally, terrorists. According to the report, more than $1.3 billion in taxpayer funds from the Biden regime ended up helping groups that have sponsored or committed terrorism. But now that money is drying up, and the leftists are so mad, they're doing what left-wingers always do, resorting to violence, likely driven by the Democrats' hysteria and shouting about how Elon Musk and Doge are exposing their malign activities. A Boston University staff member made a social media post doxing Doge employees, claiming they are wanted, quote, dead or alive. And you know what's next, because we saw it in 2019. We saw it in 2020. The Democrats' goon squads will be hitting the streets, looting, burning, and beating up Americans into submission. But this time we're ready. The sunlight of transparency is shining brighter every day, and the cockroaches are scurrying, and those who have the most to lose, the malign and corrupt influencers in the deep state, they are growing more desperate as their grip on our people slowly slips away. I have to thank you, Democrats, and you, their GOP allies, for their unhinged, corrupt, and violent actions. They make it easy to determine who is wearing the white hats and the black hats. No wonder the Democrats unethically diverted tax dollars to fake news operations. It was the only way to cover up their brazen attacks on our people. Speaking of which, as you all know, you've been forced to subsidize left-wing fake news operations like Politico with millions of federal taxpayer dollars. But it turns out the same practice is happening in the states with your state tax dollars. Texas Tribune, Austin-based Quorum Report, Politico, the Democrat Morning News, the Austin American Statesman, Houston Comical, the San Antonio Express, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and Texas Monthly. These organizations are known for their left-wing political bias, and unethical politicians in the Lone Star State are forcing conservative taxpayers to fund them. The corrupt practice is grotesquely unfair, and few know about it until now. You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.